You guys ready for some Zest innovation? Let's see. What's up, SC Boy up with a $5 donation. No message attached. We're gonna get some love in the chat for that as well. Let's just spread the love, guys. You guys have been pretty awesome the last few days. It's kind of insane to see all the love and the support on the channel. It's been really, really awesome. So thank you so much. Really appreciate it and all of your kindness, guys, as we kick this off. Let's do this. To the bottom right hand side of our map, our red Terran player, give it up if you're cheering on INnoVation. His first matchup of the day. And he is going up against the blue Protoss to the upper left hand side, Zest. Thanks for the great content, Wardy, says Schmitty in the chat. Thanks so much for the kind words. Always appreciate those as well. It's one of the nice things you can do for streamers, guys. If you watch someone you really like their content and stuff, like, you know, if you're watching someone you really like their content and stuff like that, if you can't afford to sub, you can't afford to donate, just follow. Spread the word. Tell them you like the content. It goes a long way, guys. It goes a long way. Let's kick this off then, though, into this TvP. Again, this is just our third series of the day. This series, this group, is finally going the way I want these groups to go. It's not super fast. It's not going to be over in like 2.5 hours like yesterday. It's a bit lengthier. It's a bit more action-packed, which is great to see. Let's see what INnoVation can do. Again, he was being complaining about Protoss a little bit. He was saying he just can't win TvPs. Sorry, I still have Rogue up on the overlay fixed. I might want to pay my rent with the November rent donations. It's December. Yeah, I didn't have a chance to fix the donation goal yet this morning. I'll be fixing that this evening, a little bit later on, basically. We'll be doing December and November rent, so we can pay for both months. Haha. Haha! See what I did there? Yeah, new donation goal coming later today. Nothing exciting, just December rent. You know, you guys know how it is, right? Ripper, poking around, scouting around, seeing what's up. Couple of Cyclones on the way. Couple of Cyclones coming out here in the next couple of moments. There's a Stalker from Zest poking away at that command center for a moment or two. It's actually interesting, the double Cyclone opening. I got the feeling we might see a little bit of mech here from INnoVation. I know a lot of you guys have been watching INnoVation stream and so on. I haven't had the pleasure to find myself the moment or two to watch INnoVation stream lately, so I'm not 100% kind of up to date on what he's going for, but double Cyclone opening is already kind of interesting, and again, it kind of spells out the idea of maybe going into mech in the near future, which is something which a lot of Terran players have been trying against Protoss, with some mixed successes, honestly. With some mixed successes. Blink is coming up here once again, coming up to being about halfway done. Some extra gates coming up, and yeah, I mean, very standard from Zest, right? Just the blink opener into the robot facility. And INnoVation just throws down a third CC already, taking his extra gas on the natural. Well, there we go. I think that just instantly spells out mech for us. Throws down this factory on the tech lab too, so now a siege tank is starting to come on up. So siege tank on the way out, and well, to the left-hand side, Cyclones are actually fighting Stalkers. They picked off 2 for 1 Cyclone. Yeah, that's pretty decent. This last Stalker is still running away. Wants to try and get out of here. Love this. Splits the other Cyclone around the side, but isn't going to catch it still. And the next Cyclone actually maybe going to grab a Stalker as well, as Zest was not really paying attention with his units there, and now pulling this one away. Well, still some good damage being done. The Cyclones are slowly but surely being cleaned out. The Cyclone's going to go down to some nice micro, and now Blink on the map makes those Cyclones much less effective. First siege tank siege just up. There's 2 more factories on the way down. INnoVation setting up into the triple factory play here. More Stalkers through the center, looking to see what they can get up to. So all these Stalkers coming down towards the lower right hand side. Couple more Forgers coming up on the natural expansion. That third Nexus from Zest is finished in the meantime. INnoVation does have his third CC, but man, does he have a lack of units here. Well, the siege tank going to fire once, and Stalkers do blink away. I was thinking, you know, if they blink on top of this, okay, there's another tank on the high ground, but kind of feel as though they could probably pick off a couple of units. I feel as though it wouldn't be that bad a blink. You blink in, you kill the tank, kill the cycle, and then you back away this side. You've probably got stalkers left to fight SCVs, but the SCVs probably surround you too and keep you there, so it's a tough position. We're going to see the Observer will give him a bit more info. With extra tanks coming out, INnoVation is going to be feeling a little bit safer, a little bit better. And again, Mech versus Protoss. It's been a meme for like 5-6 years or so, but yeah, I mean, he's been kind of it's been a meme in PvP for like 5 or 6 years, but now it's kind of like the go-to for Terran versus Protoss, apparently. So, very interesting stuff as we're going to be seeing a tank here get on siege, and INnoVation just pulling forwards a little bit. Those Hellions revving up, excited to get onto the map, apparently. Nice, a couple of tanks pushing forwards and actually getting another shot or two off. Playing Stalkers are so good against Mech, just the ability to hold the map control and just move around and to abuse the immobility of the Mech player. Meanwhile, Zest just throws down a 6-minute third base. Throws that down instantly into a second Stargate and a fleet beacon. He's just going to go straight in towards the Sky Toss to play against this Mech style. As we're going to be seeing those Stalkers. Just grabbing a shot off onto that siege tank there. This tank going to siege as well and does fire away and does manage to get some more damage onto these Stalkers. A few Hellions across the map, INnoVation not making use of these and probably could have been able to have gotten something done, but a little bit slow to respond and to actually utilize them once they get into position, and he isn't going to get anywhere near as much as he could have done. 6 workers is nice. I mean, it's not bad. He actually gets up to 8 here in the end. 9. Wow, not bad at all. 9 workers, but imagine he went in before the war pin had started. He was just sat there a few seconds, so could have just been a little bit more. It is one way that INnoVation is going to stay in this game and to help him play this Mech style. A lot of Hellion run-bys, a lot of harassment moving around. That sort of stuff is what he's got to kind of look for here. As we do see these well, units continue to come up. A couple more tanks coming through as well. Well, Stalker's down to the lower left-hand side as we see this Nexus setting up as well. More Prism coming in from the top, all the way down through the center. There's a couple of carriers on the way out, and again, these carriers just getting chrono boosted here, just getting brought on into play. Carriers look kind of funny with the chrono boost going around them. You guys know what I mean? They're like flashing a lot, right? It's tripping me out a little bit. 2-2 on the way for the meching player. Continue to get that set up here, and well, just going to see a couple of Hellions pulling back, and in the meantime, Zest is still with the War Prism looking for openings, looking for opportunities to see what else he can do. Hellion's going to come through the top side now, and again, poking and prodding, seeing what they can get up to, looking for the run-bys, but a nice wall-off here actually denies these Hellions from going up into the natural, and they get intercepted by the Stalkers. Very nicely done by Zest. He picks up 1, 2, 3, and 4. Very, very simply done. War Prism just patrolling here to the left as well. As we're going to be also seeing a few more Hellions moving out once more. Stalker's still just sat down this ramp, and that's going to be seeing the couple of Hellions getting picked off once again. I mean, Stalker's just taking advantage of this as INnoVation cannot find an opening at the moment. You know, there's the barracks too, not the end of the world. I mean, he's already set up onto his kind of, well, 8 factory production, is that? Yeah, okay, don't think he actually really needs the barracks at all then. Is this his first starport that's coming down now? Well, that's his very first starport of the game. How interesting. We saw yesterday in Group B of the competition, TY going for some very interesting TvP build order choices as well. He actually tried to play a Sky Terran yesterday against Hero. That was rather intriguing. So we've seen these tanks coming in, and we are going to see Stalkers picking one tank off and then just blinking away. Hellions try to chase, but he loses a Hellion as well. INnoVation just not finding any value at all right now, as he is looping around the top side of units as well, though. Even with Blink, you can only blink so far at a time, and oh, there is that Blink. Nice save on the Prism. Wow, that's actually really nice. The Prism saving these lower health Stalkers. This one goes down, apparently not as loved as the other. Yes, here we go. We're just going to be seeing pushing forwards. Tanks. Going to be seeing what they can do. The cannon goes down already. The 4th base in trouble. I mean, Zest just doesn't have his carriers in position right now, but that's the reality here, that there is carriers up, and immediately INnoVation sees this. He's like, yep, I'm out of here. And he begins to back away, and well, that's INnoVation's issue. He actually has absolutely zero anti-air right now to deal with these carriers. We're going to be seeing, oh, probes transferring, and INnoVation sees that as a gold mine. But can he actually get enough damage done? 7 workers so far, now 14. Answer is yes, he can. 15 workers is nothing to be laughed at. Meanwhile, Stalker's trying to blink in towards the third base. They don't find it. Zest is realizing though INnoVation does not have anti-air, so he is starting to push into the center. INnoVation now he put down 3 starports recently. He's got 5 Vikings building at a time. Is that enough? I don't know if it is. INnoVation might have to give up a base of his own just to buy time once again, because he still doesn't have enough anti-air really. His ship weapons aren't there. He does have ship plating, but there is +2 flyer attacks as well for the carriers, so they're going to have a good time there. We're actually going to be seeing these tanks and all sorts just pushing around the top side. I mean, I guess if the carriers are over here, INnoVation can instigate some sort of a base trade. He's now starting to build cyclones too, getting that cyclone rapid fire launcher going. It's actually a little bit bugged here on the overlay, as you can see. Upgrade / name / yeah. So rapid fire launcher coming in, basically just boosts up that anti-fire of the cyclones. We're going to be seeing a recall. Oh, well, that works too. Going to get the carriers back over here. INnoVation loses 1 base. I guess doesn't do anything with his army, right? But at the same time, he is buying himself time to build up cyclones, build up Vikings, to get an army that can potentially fight against the carriers. INnoVation pulls over to the right-hand side. That's Zest. He's still just looking around to see what he can do over the next couple of moments. Pylon here going to be finishing up for Zest as well, and just going to be seeing our Protoss player coming through the top side and looking to see what he can do. We're going to see a few Stalkers just set to the top, and probably a few more getting ready to warp in once again. Stalker up here is going to be poked and prodded. I think he's morphing into Hellbats as well, as we do see INnoVation. Obviously now feels a bit better in terms of the fact he has anti-air units. +3 vehicle plating about to finish helps out for these Vikings a lot. Problem is now there's storms available too, and that's going to go a long way to helping out. As you can see, the Cyclones going to be part of that. The Interceptors going through the storm for a moment there. A lot of these tanks still up top, and I think INnoVation is realizing that he's maybe not going to find much with these. That one Stalker confirms they are there, but INnoVation just pulling back. Looks though Zest. I mean, the problem is if Zest pulls his carriers all the way up here to try and fight these tanks, he doesn't have a very good time, you know, because then the army through the south side is going to have a great time as well. Cells getting ripped apart by mech units as well now down to the south. More Vikings on the way up. INnoVation playing this slow, playing this patiently. Really waiting until he feels as though he has the moment. With this army up here, he keeps poking forwards, he keeps pulling back. I love it. One single carrier will shut this down. Albeit very slowly, of course, but that's just INnoVation realizing, okay, well in that case I'm just going to commit as the Cyclones. Well, that is a dead base. There's nothing even nearby to help save this one. As INnoVation just going to get a couple of gateway kills here. Now pulling back with those Cyclones, maybe feeling he needs them to deal with this army. Zealots and Stalkers pushing forwards from the Protoss player. Maybe just wants to trade these out at a position in the game where he'd rather just rebuild into even more carriers. Now, this bank isn't that huge though. He's got a lot of minerals but barely any gas. The Zealots are going to get blocked from going up in towards the main for a few seconds by the depots. They're going to be just coming in towards this mineral line instead. Nice split of units by INnoVation. Meanwhile, Vikings, oh, they have to be so careful here. They want to start fighting those carriers and they don't even have enough to one-shot them. There we go, a couple more hits. They just have to be so careful for the Archons underneath. He is one-shotting some of them, but now the Viking can take some heavy losses. INnoVation isn't really in a position to replace these very easily. And that hurts. It's a lot of Vikings going down as Cyclones counter-attacking. He's going to pick his way through this third base. This pylon would have been great to pick off. Those Zealots would have been cancelled. I guess he could have walked in up here instead. But he is going to get the third base. Zest only has, well, this base here now. That's really going to be full base mining. As we're going to be seeing, well, tanks are caught by the carriers. They're stuck in this corner. They're trying to siege to do something, but they're just not going to do enough before the carriers clean them out. And the Vikings are going to try and do whatever they can. The reality is, even if the Vikings do whatever they can in the skies, there's still going to be the ground army to deal with. INnoVation had a lot of cool moves in this game, a lot of movement with Cyclones, tanks, all sorts. There was a couple of moments where his Vikings just didn't trade well enough, they couldn't engage very well, and that's going to be a bit too much. Zest is looking though he's going to take game number 1 of this best of 3. Zest looking very good so far. In this group, he's already 2-0. He 2-0'd Rogue. He lost a map to Hellraiser. Zest is really could be the one to move through this group in first place at this rate. So you're going to be seeing the well, Interceptor's still moving around and doing some more bits and pieces. Now a recall back home. Yeah, I mean, why not, I guess. Just get home, remax, rebuild, give yourself a moment or two. It's going to be GG Zest as we go into, I'm assuming, China, because you have SC Boy in the name. That's the big Chinese cast, and I know they're casting this event. As we do have to the top right hand side our blue Protoss player. Give it up if you're cheering on Zest. His opponent to the bottom left hand side, the red Terran, is INnoVation. 2,500 viewers, what is up? How are we feeling? Thank you for tuning in today. It's a beautiful day. Simply because we have some beautiful games of StarCraft. We're not even halfway through. It's our third series and it's just 1-0 at the moment. Can he mount the comeback? Can he make it happen? Down a game, looking to fight back. Our red Terran player is INnoVation. He's playing against the blue Protoss to the top right hand side. Give it up if you're cheering on Zest. Game 2 of 3. Potentially of 3. There's, oh my god. Right, guys. You saw it here first. You saw it here first. The SCV of INnoVation just died to a probe. Protoss is officially broken. If INnoVation can't even save as SCV against a probe, where is the hope for any of us in the world? Well, memes aside, I mean, it's a little bit of a mistake there by INnoVation. Good to know that even INnoVation makes this mistake sometimes. I make it at least 70% of my TvP games, so good to know INnoVation can do it as well. Makes me feel slightly better about my lack of StarCraft 2 skill, you know? Ripper up the right hand side is going to be going in towards the natural, going in towards the main very soon. I'm going to see what I can get up to here as this Reaper pops in towards the natural. In just a couple of moments' time. Twilight Council is building up, is just behind the mineral line, coming up to being about halfway done. And again, INnoVation going for similar builders to what we saw in the last game so far. Twilight again, I mean, it's actually pretty similar on both sides, from both players really. I mean, the Twilight from Zest, he went straight into Blink last game. This game looking to be probably a similar sort of movement from himself as the two Cyclones are on the way out. What's up, Roddy in the chat? Wants me to do a sub speech because we've got lots of viewers. Alright guys, what's up? If you sub to me today, you get fucking all of these replays on Monday. That's my start speech. Because we're in game. It's short, it's sweet. You want these replays? You want to see how Zest beats INnoVation? You want to see how Zest beat Rogue? All the replays available on Monday in the replay pack. That isn't worth subscribing for. I don't know what else I could really say. So, there you go. And it helps support the stream in this tournament. Hashtag sellout for Roddy. Blink about halfway done here. As we mentioned, obviously that comes up nice and early in the Zest build order as well. He just comes forward with these few Stalkers, just pushing that Reaper away for INnoVation. Meanwhile, INnoVation, exactly the same from him. Third CC still comes up. The biggest difference being he's actually just sort of sat at home this time around with these Cyclones. He hasn't been as aggressive initially, so he's going to move out now. Last game he moved out with his first two, and then he rallied them across. This time it's obviously going to be the Cyclones coming over and looking to see what they can get up to. Going to be hitting the third base all at once. Well, I mean, the thing is, the issue is Blink is going to be finished, right? So that helps the Stalkers a lot in terms of actually being able to survive these Cyclones and trade effectively against them. There you go. You can see the Cyclones going to be getting this Nexus already. The shield's disappearing on it. I mean, 4 Cyclones do a lot. I love the idea of the Reaper Grenade. Just misses, though. Doesn't quite hit its mark. You can see this pylon will go down. INnoVation just finding damage. I love the high ground advantage, and he's working it. He's working it well. He gets one Stalker kill. Now a second one. Zest just not blinking all of these Stalkers on time at points. Gets a probe, another Stalker very low, and another. Very nice blinks by Zest, keeping a lot of these low health stalkers alive again and again. You're not going to see those couple cyclones running away over to the right hand side, so run over the right side looking to see what else is happening. God damn it, guys, sorry, did I trigger everyone by saying Protoss is broken? Just give it time for the meta to settle. People are just figuring things out. I'm sure, you know, when was the last time the game was really super broken for a long time? We'll be fine. Chill. Stalkers cannot get into the natural. They get turned away. And at the same time, the Cyclones actually came back in. They find themselves 2 workers here on the 3rd Nexus. Now a 3rd and a 4th. And another one too. Nice targeting as well. Targeting the probe instead of the Stalkers. It makes a lot of sense. As you can see, the Cyclones were never going to win the fight against the Stalkers. Getting the probe instead obviously goes a long way. Stalkers coming in towards the center of the map here as we see the War Prism on the way up from Zest. And he's once again already started up +1 air weapons, but there is the Stargate too. So next up should be that Fleet Beacon and the 2nd Stargate in the next couple of moments. And pretty much the same as last game, like a real repeat here. You know, honestly, last game INnoVation had a lot of really cool moves, and I feel as though some of them maybe just came in a few seconds too late. So I do feel as though perhaps it's, perhaps it's a good moment to, like, you know, if you could just sort of do the same thing again, and I don't know, like I really saw a lot of potential for INnoVation last game. The only issue was he was very caught off guard by the carriers, I feel. He's going to see this siege tank is going to get picked off. That's actually good damage done here by these stalkers. He killed a reactor on a factory as well. Takes a long time to rebuild, of course. If you see this tank, though, helping out a lot. Stalkers just about blinking away. One of them just rolling off. That's kind of brutal, isn't it? Like the head of a stalker just rolling away. It's not pretty. INnoVation not quite able to cancel that turret. It gets killed off, but its 3rd CC is set up, and I mean, it's nice aggression by Zest. He's making use of what he has. A little bit of counter damage for those Cyclones that were causing him a little bit of pain a little bit earlier on. Do you see the +1/+1 upgrades from INnoVation finally starting up, but there's the carriers already. And again, the issue last game for INnoVation was that the carriers came out and he had absolutely no anti-air. And obviously that makes it a very difficult situation to fight against. What's up, Miko Chu coming in with the sub? How you doing? Thank you very much for subscribing. Appreciate the support. Give you a proper shout out after the game. Just wanted to say hi quickly and thank you. As do have this prism up the left hand side. He's just pulling away, didn't really manage to do too much there as Zest once again throwing down fast bases. Now this isn't as fast a 4th base as we saw in the last game. Last game he had like a 6-minute 4th base if I'm not mistaken. So 4th Nexus coming on up, and just going to be seeing the +2 air weapons, the Graviton Catapult on the way through. And we see the Infinite Pre-Igniter is being thrown down, so getting the Blue Flame as well. I'm interested to see what the Blue Flame... I guess the Blue Flame helps a lot with the work of run-bys, etc., but I guess in case Zolts come up, etc. too, it can go a long way. It's just interesting that he builds up the Blue Flame before really any other upgrade. I mean, you know, even transformation servos could be pretty useful. You could even argue that perhaps the Cyclone upgrade... There we go, Cyclone upgrade starts. He's going to start building the Cyclones a lot faster this time. Scanning the main base, INnoVation realizing that last game he did not recognize the switch to carriers soon enough. And so this time he scans, he scouts for it, and he does see it, and immediately throws down 5 goes. We're also going to see the Ghost Academy. We'll see what he'll do with the Ghost Academy. I'm not really sure, honestly, what the kind of game plan could be off this. I mean, maybe just some ghosts for the EMPs is all he's looking for here. Is it wrong to hope for a nuke? Like, is that something that's realistic to hope for, do you guys think? I mean, how many barracks does he actually have? Only 1? So it's not like he's going to be able to make a ton of ghosts at once. Go on, INnoVation. Build a nuke. Just build the nuke. He doesn't have that much money to mess around, though, I suppose. First ghost does start up. Again, I mean, just a couple of EMPs can go a long way. He starts an OBS reactor. That's not the upgrade we wanted to see off the Ghost Academy. Silly INnoVation. We wanted to see the nukes. Alright, well, we are going to see Hellions tanks coming back along through the south side here. And, 4th Command Center going to be dropping now as well as Stalkers of Zest down the left-hand side. Going to see what else is happening as the Stalkers poke it on forwards. We're going to see, ooh, a Siege Tank is doing a little bit of damage there. The Hellions coming in as well, and well, doing a little bit more. These Stalkers actually taking quite a lot of damage. We're going to see Hellions, Cyclones going to be picking their way through. A few more Stalkers. The Stalker's going down pretty quickly here. 7 SCVs picked off. But I mean, getting rid of the Stalkers is still nice. Zest is actually way down on not income, but just supply. Obviously, he's going into like carriers and like all this super high tech stuff. So he's not like spamming out gateway units or anything. But well, I guess we'll see. Another command center from INnoVation. Top left side, a little bit of a hidden base there as the Hellions. They're turned away by the carriers at the top side this time around. And you know, we're going to see that 5th Nexus now from Zest on the way up. So another Nexus on the way up right now as more and more Cyclones are building. 5 at a time at the moment. As we see even more Hellions of INnoVation coming along down towards the bottom right hand corner. You're going to be seeing this watchtower taken, and I mean, he's going to approach this base. You could sacrifice the Hellions into the cannons and kill off these workers, but it's not that many workers to go for. Okay, he's just going to come around this side instead. Well, I mean, it means he has to fight 1 cannon instead of 2, right? Stalkers warp in, and that's still kind of nice. I didn't think Zest was going to warp in any more Stalkers. I kind of thought he was just done with that, considering we've already sort of seen the stage of the game where, you know, where he was kind of like, you know, like, I'm just throwing some Stalkers away into Mineral Line. Maybe he didn't want to throw them away as much as I sort of said he did. And we've seen these Hellions and Cyclones coming forwards once again, and we are going to be seeing, well, 1 Stalker taking a little bit of damage there to the top side. The tanks trying to counter-attack and run by themselves. Is this just mostly purely Cyclone? 20 Cyclones, 11 Hellions, the Ghosts mixed in there, and of course 7 tanks. So yeah, mostly Cyclones is the kind of composition here. So we're going to see this south side base of Zest. Well, that's going to go down instantly. I don't think I've seen a health bar drop so quickly in my life. Cyclones are insane. As you're going to be seeing this, well, a couple of tanks just going to trade up where they can. As here we go. Some feedback's coming down early as the EMP comes, lands on a couple of the High Templar. Oh my god, what a mess this is, though. The Storms are doing so much. The Cyclone's starting to lock on, but it's taking them way too long, I think. The Interceptors are going to kill so much, and this was a nice try. And you can see the carriers are starting to die off, but so many Storms, the Cyclones got destroyed. The issue is, so, you know, imagine the damage was just not as spread out. He would have actually maybe killed, I guess, you know, even 2 more carriers. You know, you take the damage off this carrier and put it on these 2. And there's only 2 carriers left, but man, Zest can just mass up Stalkers now, and massing up Stalkers is just going to keep on pushing across. It's just going to be way too much here. Zest looking really, really good today. He's going to go 3-0 in this group. He's going to get out of this in 1st place. Zest looking very, very good. I mean, 2-0 against Rogue in some very dominating games. You know, games where he was just ahead from the get-go and he kept himself ahead. INnoVation types out the game, and that is going to be Zest. 2-0 INnoVation, 2-0 Rogue. Does that officially